I'd like to share this sentiment of metta, loving kindness, as our motivation today. May you find strength. May you find strength. This little blob of blue is really a blob. You can see it's kind of textured. I peeled the paint cap off and plopped it on this piece of paper. Strength in paint, even. May you find strength. Maybe let's take some deep breaths together, really turn inward. Be gentle as you turn your gaze in, as you listen to my voice. Allow the words to just wrap around you very warmly and gently as you calm down and settle in. May you find strength. For the month of September, we have been exploring the concept of interconnection, interbeing, the ways that we are connected to one another, the ways that we are connected with all of life, the way that we can use all of our experiences, positive, negative, neutral, as fodder to deepen our understanding and awaken to the conditions of suffering, suffering within and suffering external to us. We've explored selfishness and being self-centered, the ways that those particular concepts appear both positively, negatively, and neutrally. We've taken a look at vipassana, deep looking. And this is a way of remembering that through the kindness of others, we have this life. And the kindness of others are people that we will never know, people who have been involved in our clothes and in I'm drinking a cup of tea, so in the mug, in the factories, in the tea growers, the tea bag makers, the places where the strings are created. There's so many, many, many people involved. The people who make the staples, there's a factory for that. So many people are with me as I drink a cup of tea. But I can only remember that when I take time to look deeply. Last week we explored simplicity, keeping the focus of the practice of interconnection and our interconnection with ourselves as simple as possible. Today, we begin our exploration of mudita, appreciative joy or sympathetic joy. This is one of the 4 limitless qualities in Buddhism. And joy is sometimes a difficult quality to find in the journey of recovery and in the experiences of substance use and misuse. Joy is really difficult to find when life's experiences are very stressful, very challenging. And in fact, we can be so mired in the difficulty that if anyone were to suggest that we be joyful or we be grateful or that we try to be positive, they risk getting their eyeballs scratched out, at least around me. Because when I'm not in a joyful place, when I'm in it, really struggling, please don't tell me to be positive. Please don't tell me to look on the bright side. Please don't tell me to think positively or to be grateful. Ugh. I have to be with the negativity. I have to be with the darkness, I know joy is there. But I can't force myself to find it. It feels disingenuous. Instead, I just have to be with the darkness, with the shadow. And I know that the nature of reality is impermanent. It won't last. It feels like it might, but I know it won't. And in that knowing, a tiny crack of possibility begins to emerge. And that's where I know joy is waiting for me. I'm prefacing this exploration with that because there's something in modern society with its obsession with positivity that suggests that if we're not positive all the time, if we're not vibing at the highest vibration, if our energy isn't cosmically, universally wonderful, something is wrong with us. And I would like to just gently suggest that maybe all we're doing is learning to be with shadow, learning to be with light's companion, learning to understand the way sorrow and despair, depression and frustration, irritation and anger, rage and resentment, the way these sort of shadowed emotions live within us. If we don't understand them, we risk being buried by them, and we risk growing farther and farther away from joy, maybe even forgetting that it waits for us. So today I'd like to take us into the shadows a little bit as a way of appreciating joy. And what I'd like to read for you today is a book by Sogyal Rinpoche. This is the book, Glimpse After Glimpse. And it's like a daily meditation book. And the one for today I just thought was so perfect. And it's very listy because Buddhists love lists. So it's 2 lists of 6 things. 6 realms of existence are identified in Buddhism: gods, demigods, humans, animals, hungry ghosts, and hells. These are realms that the Buddha is said to have journeyed. They are each the result of one of the 6 main negative emotions: pride, jealousy, desire, ignorance, greed, and anger. Let me repeat those. Pride, jealousy, desire, ignorance, greed, and anger. If you can think of these emotions like trees, they actually have lots and lots of different branches. And so while you might not be experiencing anger, you could be experiencing resentment or frustration, disappointment. And those are branches of anger. Looking at the world around us and into our own minds, we can see that the 6 realms exist. They exist in the way we unconsciously allow our negative emotions to project and crystallize entire realms around us, and to define the style, form, flavor, and context of our life in those realms. And these realms exist inwardly, as different seeds and tendencies of the various negative emotions within our psychophysical systems, always ready to germinate and grow, depending on what influences them and how we choose to live. In the world of recovery and in the world of substance use disorder and habit energy, the realm most often encountered is that of the hungry ghost and the hell realm. The hungry ghost is this insatiable, inconsolable, constantly craving aspect of our minds and bodies and hearts. We just want life the way we want it, when we want it. We just think life should be the way we think it should be all the time. We're very attached to this. And in that attachment, those 6 difficult, challenging emotions are quick to arise. Pride, I would even say self-protection, jealousy, greed, ignorance, desire, craving, anger, bewilderment, confusion. And when we have those emotions, what this author is teaching us and reminding us is the ways we have a propensity to project out and sort of create conditions for more anger, more frustration, more ignorance. So the practice is catching ourselves. And there are instruments of peace, tools that you hear all the time here as a way to call your own attention, get your own attention. Hey, whoa, wow, would you look at that? Look at all this that's getting activated in me. I wonder what this is all about. And that pause, that question helps to slow down the momentum of these emotions and what brings us into these less desirable realms, these realms of chaos and confusion, these realms where we feel like we're swirling the drain. And when we pause just a little bit, hey, wow, would you look at this? What's here? What's this all about? We can begin to listen to some of the answers that are coming forward. Well, what's here is that my life sucks and I hate it and I'm miserable. Roger that. That can be absolutely true. What else is true? Because there's always something else that's true. And that, wise friends, that is the crack of possibility where joy, just the smallest sliver of joyful light, begins to emerge. You may not see it yet. It may not be time, but just even creating the space for the possibility is the practice. I have sat vigil with children who are dying. And there were several children where death was not peaceful for the child or the family. Terrible, painful, desperately sad, confusing, no joy, a really conflicted sense of peace because the desire for the child to die and just have it be over with was there because the pain in the experience was so agonizing. And at the same time, right beside that is, this is a 5-year-old that's dying. How can I want to hurry this along? I don't. So I want them to stay, but I want them to go at the same time. That conflict is incredibly painful. No joy. But joy is always there, waiting. And so when this child that I'm thinking of died, it was almost instantaneous. She drew her last breath, and there was this collective sigh in the room, and there were these wails of tears, and then joy, relief, just, it's over. And then the strangest thing, it was memories. How she was going to be remembered, how she inspired, what we'll never forget. The way she touched us and lives in us still. That's appreciative joy. As you take a moment to reflect, the take-home message today is, as much as these afflicted mind states live within each of us, these negative emotions, joy lives within us too. It's not one or the other, it's always both. And we can access it at any time. It waits for us, for our attention. And so the invitation is to examine what are the simple things that you can do, that you can touch into, that bring you a little whiff of joy. For me, it's hanging out with my dogs, it's being in my garden, it's definitely coming here. I really enjoy reading. I have several exchanges with Kalyana Mitras that bring me joy. Find your joy when you are able, and when you are not, rest assured, it is there, waiting for you, watching over you. Let's take a couple of deep breaths together and maybe add some mantra to it, breathing in appreciative joy, breathing out a crack of possibility, breathing in a crack of possibility, breathing out joy. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and end our practice with a dedication of merit. So we started with the intention of, may you find strength. Let's dedicate this practice and this reflection of interconnection and appreciative joy, even when we're working with our shadows and the dark side of life, when we feel weak, vulnerable, worn out, torn down, the opposite of strength. So on one end, may you find strength. On the other end, may you see and hold and care and tend to what feels weak. And know that both of these qualities, strength and fragility, live in us. And just like me, they live in everyone. So maybe let's put our hands together. May I recognize my strengths. May I recognize my fragility. Together, may I see the whole of me. Thank you for your beautiful practice, friends. We'll see you next time. Namaste.